Hi everyone, and welcome to your March update. There's been a lot going on across both health and insurance over the past month, so I've pulled together a quick roundup to help you stay across the trends, tools, and conversations that matter. Let's start with something special. First, I was able to sit down and had the absolute pleasure to talk with Peter Harmer, a great hero of mine and one of Australia's most powerful directors, in our latest episode of Innovation Insider. Peter has led IAG, Aon, and sits on the boards of some of Australia's largest organisations, such as CommBank, NIB, and AUB Group. He's been at the centre of some of the biggest shifts in Australian insurance, and in his chat, he shares some hard-earned insights on leadership, innovation, and what still needs to change in the industry. It's one of my favourite conversations so far, so I'd recommend you have a listen or a look. I also recently spent the day at Australian Healthcare Week. Standout theme for me was really around practical innovation. Not hype, not theory, real solutions that are starting to make their way into the day-to-day operations of healthcare in Australia and the world. Three things that particularly stood out for me. First was this idea of little AI versus big AI. And as little AI, things like voice capture, diagnostics are already starting to make a difference on the front line for health professionals. Second, virtual hospitals. They are starting to creep up and challenge the infrastructure first mindset we've had and seen for decades. We are particularly seeing the battle for physical hospitals at the moment, which are essentially large real estate businesses. So this virtual hospital concept is a really interesting prospect. And Providence, a healthcare provider in the US, gave a great keynote that I'd recommend having a look at. Thirdly, digital health has to be human-led, and there was a really strong theme from a number of speakers at the event who talked about not being digital for the sake of being digital, but actually being human-led and using the digital as an accompaniment to enhance the patient and the customer experience. If you weren't there, I've pulled together a quick snapshot or a quick recap for you that you can share with your team. If you were there, it's still worth a read and could be a good cheat sheet to share with those around you. On the Insurtech front, Insurtech Australia released their Insurtech Down Under report in March, which is a great read. Essentially, it shows that the sector is starting to grow up. We're seeing less hype, more capital discipline, and real investment flowing into scalable, AI-driven models, particularly in embedded and cyber insurance. It's a good read if you want to have a snapshot of where the market is heading, both Insurtech and insurance, and you can download it for free. I've got a link in the newsletter for you. I've also shared a simple tool this month that seems to be increasingly loved by a number of organizations, which is the likelihood versus impact matrix. Very simple tool, but great for risk and opportunity prioritization, especially if you're running workshops or planning sessions where you need to quickly make sense of competing inputs. It helps cut through the noise and focus on what really matters most, and it's a tool that I use day in, day out. Over on our blog, we've explored how Australia's big health insurers are navigating a highly concentrated market. Each has their own strategy, whether it's M&A, diversification, niching, or partnerships. It's a good read if you're thinking about competitive positioning or market structure. And finally, a deeper dive into culture. Through a number of conversations with leaders over the last 12 months that I've been lucky enough to have, I have really had this strong theme of culture coming through as a key enabler for innovation and a key ingredient for innovation. So I've managed to put pen to paper in our monthly thought leadership piece and had a look at why culture is often the missing link in innovation within organizations. So we unpack what makes an environment innovative, how to build one, and what can happen if you neglect it. Some great insights there from leaders such as David Duplessis, Jody Granger, Tracy Newman, Inga Kutians, and David Poutney. So I'd recommend you have a read of that as well. That's it for the March update. I hope there's something in here that sparks a new idea or helps you think about uplifting your innovation capability. As always, please reach out via comments with your thoughts or questions, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Take care.